So the gas version of the Dodge Charger has been spotted. It's almost here. We're going to see it soon, and we have some pictures to show you. But first, we got to roll that intro. All right, so let's get started with just a little chat about this six-pack that's coming out. Dodge was not supposed to bring it out till later this year, and because of the horrible financials and slow sales and, frankly, just nothing to buy at a Dodge dealership anymore unless it's a used car or a Hornet or a way overpriced Durango, they realized they need to get something that we will buy. We're not buying the Daytona EV. Those things are piling up at dealers like you would not believe. You want to have some fun, and maybe I'll do this weekend. Go visit some Dodge dealers right now and look at how many of these things are piling on lots. Literally last night, I had a nightmare. No, it wasn't Freddy Krueger chasing me. It was that I was at a dealership and was in process buying a Daytona EV, and I couldn't understand why I'm doing this thing. And then I woke up in a cold sweat. My wife thought I was having a stroke or something. What's going on? I said, I had a dream I was buying a freaking EV Daytona. And she's like, well, you know, you would never do that. And go back to sleep and dream about something less scary like Freddy Krueger with the knives. So I did. But I will tell you, at this stage, by the way, the only reason this, I think, got put in my head is because the leases are so stupid now. I mean, I'm getting people messaging me saying, well, Brad, it's like $250 a month for an RT. How do I turn that down? And my response to everybody, and I'll share this with all of you, here's how you turn it down. Okay, this is an age-old trick. One, there's probably a significant down payment. When I say significant, I mean you're dropping a lot of the money that would otherwise be in a payment on a lease in a down payment. My opinion is you do not buy these cars because they're going to depreciate so badly, you lease them. And you don't put money down on leases since you're simply renting the car. You don't go to Enterprise and say, how much is your Cadillac Escalade for the weekend? And they go, well, it's $700 a day. And you go, what if I give you $1,000 down? How much would it be? That's the same exact thing. You're out the money either way. So I say, get a great payment. Well, here's the trick with these things and why it's just all over the place, getting everybody's head, even got in my head, is they're going to want a down payment. And I'm going to guess it's between $4,000 and $5,000. Then by the time you're done with all the tricks and things they do to you, you're going to probably be a little bit more than that. And then they're going to give you a 5,000-mile lease. Here's the trick. Remember the Maserati dance? Remember when they could not sell the Maseratis and they started leasing them for super cheap because nobody wanted them because they had Dodge and Chrysler navigation screens, controls, and interior parts and all that fun stuff? It's the same exact thing. So what they're doing now is, well, they can't sell something, lease them, kick the can down the road. But here's the deal, stick you with 5,000 miles. So I had plenty of friends, plenty of people in my industry, which there's a lot of ego out there, who said, man, I could buy a Mercedes, it's going to cost me $1,200 a month. I could lease a Maserati for $550 a month. That's insane. So they're rolling around in a Maserati feeling super cool. Problem is, they got 5,000-mile leases. And what happened is they drove these cars as their daily only car drivers and flexed all over the universe that they had that car, which same things happened with the Daytona. And they ended up turning those cars in 10, 15, 20, 30,000 miles outside the lease. I mean, they drove the wheels off of them. And when they showed up at the dealership was like, yeah, we wanted 30 cents a mile. And it was $6,000 or $7,000 or $10,000 in mileage overage on that car. And you know what else happens when you drive the car that much? It ends up having some deferred maintenance, having some dings and everything else, and they just nail you on the return fees. So they're getting their money either way. If you think you could buy something, drive it 5,000 miles a year or less, and then you can get a dealer to do zero down, $250 a month, knock yourself out with $250 a month. Big deal. Now just keep in mind, your insurance is going to be higher on these things because the way the insurance company's looking at it is, what's the actual MSRP and value of this car? and what's going to cost to keep them running. And you also got to keep in mind, if it's your primary driver, that you're going to be likely having that thing in the shop. First year of anything is going to be in the shop a while, and there's going to be parts on back order. Watch some of the videos of some of the folks that are dealing with issues with their Daytonas right now, and the parts are on back order. Now, as long as you got the car back and it's still drivable, that's okay. But if it's not, you're paying for a rental car. So add that to the cost, because I don't know about you all, but no Dodge dealership where I live gives you a loaner car. So you're literally walking. And at least with the Maseratis, there was some loaner cars with some of the dealerships, but not all of them, because a lot of those old Maserati dealerships were just Dodge dealerships with Maseratis on the lot. So sorry to digress and get into that, but I thought, got to share that with you. Let's go look at this six-pack and the photos that are on Mopar Insider. Great blog. Go check it out. Here we are. Now, this is a picture of the six-pack. Now, here's where I am, and where I was alluding to is, look, I do YouTube, so it makes sense for me to buy certain cars that are going to bring views and allow me to basically charge the car to my corporation, lease it to my corporation, and then use it for content. So I've said this many times. When the six-pack comes out, I'll probably buy one. I am absolutely tempted to buy one for one reason. I am so confident it's going to be a living nightmare that I believe not only will I have a chance to get tons and tons of content for you all, but it will not be my only car and daily driver. It will maybe I'd make it my daily driver. I still have other cars I can drive, but I would be able to get so much content and so much entertainment for you all going through it, where I can at least share the experience, which is the other reason why I think I was even contemplating, if the Daytona EV is cheap enough, that I would just go lease one of those things for $250 a month and then watch it break down, drive it and watch it break down all the time and do all kinds of content for you all. I mean, hell, I'd make way more than $250 a month, even after insurance, way more than $500 a month on YouTube, and it would be entertainment for you all. But I just can't get my head around it, and I keep going back to, I'd rather just play with Freddy Krueger. And those of you who are young don't even know who the hell I'm talking about. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. Well, here's my issue. Now, I know that these are going to be problematic. I'm so confident these are going to be problematic. I think the twin turbo i6 is going to be problematic, especially in the high output version, the 550 horsepower version, which will be in the 2-door, and the 4-door will have the standard output, which is just a little over 400 horsepower. Both these things will have more horsepower than the real comparison, which is the Daytona Scat Pack is not a comparison to a gas Scat Pack. So let's compare the 6-pack HO to a Scat Pack with 485 horsepower, and this thing's going to have 550 horsepower and all-wheel drive. The key here that we don't know the answers yet is, what is this thing going to weigh? Because if this thing ends up weighing way more than my Scat Pack, then it may be a big sloth that doesn't go anywhere. But if they can get the weight down on this thing, all-wheel drive, while it likely won't be very reliable, it will be very quick, very fast, and a lot of fun to drive. Now, yes, I would rather have a Hemi, and I hope that those come out. Hopefully they'll announce that this year, and we'll get something with the V8. But nonetheless, I think they're going to wait and see how these things sell, and when they find that out, which I think they might have a little bit of trouble, but we'll see. I don't know. Then I think they'll make that decision and formalize that ultimate decision whether to go V8 or not. But hopefully they do. So nonetheless, that's a 2-door. Now, what you can't see as well in this picture is the hood is just really flat. No vents, no nothing that makes this hood exciting. Meaning this is going to look so much more boring than even the existing Scat Packs. This is not going to look that great. Even the EV hood looks so much better, even with that R-Wing. R-Wing's gone in the ICE version of this 6-pack. So let's go look at the other pictures. Here's another one, and you can kind of tell that it's just a kind of a boring hood. The EV looks better. I hate to say it. Don't want it, but it looks better. But they couldn't stuff this 6-cylinder in with all the stuff. And yes, I have seen the same pictures that Butter and TK have seen where they stuffed that thing in here. We can't show it. yet. I've been sworn to secrecy, but I'll tell you, it is stuffed in there with all the crap to run that thing that it's just not a pretty sight compared to looking at one of our V8s. So that is the high output 2-door again. But now here is the 4-door. Now, I don't know about you all, but it doesn't look that exciting. I mean, it's not horrible, but it doesn't look that exciting. But let's go and look at, here's what it looks like. Now, they're going to launch these things with the standard output, and I believe they're hoping these things are going to end up being police cars, commuter cars, and if they price them right, they will have a chance for that to happen. So that's the photos of this new 6-pack version of the Charger that should be coming out. They're saying by June, but what do we know, folks? We all know that Dodge Stellantis has trouble keeping their promises. So if they say June, that means January or February of 2026. I'm hoping I'm wrong. If they get this thing out in June, I'm pretty sure, as long as it's not super heavy and it has any decent performance, especially if it's a little bit better than the prior Scat Pack, yes, I'm a Hemi guy. Would I sell my Swinger? Probably not. Would I just buy one of these things for the channel? Probably, just to show you the excitement behind dealing with the first generation car from a company that has cut expenses so incredibly low and cut quality so low that while they also build something very nice looking, that it'll make for some phenomenal content on the channel. And if they price this thing right, if they keep this thing under $65,000, fully loaded with the high output version, I think they're going to have a chance. Some are going to say that's too much money. I still think it's okay because that means they could still lease them for really good deals if they're not selling, and we're back into those $250, $300, $400 car payments for people to get something that theoretically should beat the existing Scat Pack as long as the engine doesn't burst into flames and break. So with that, everybody, let me know what you think about the new 6-pack. Will you be lining up to buy the thing? Honestly, I want you to write in the comments and let me know, is this something you would even consider? I get it. There's no way I'm going to make that leap to an EV. But I could maybe make a little leap. But I have a different situation here on the channel because this stuff is paid for by the company and it gets views and it's a business. So I'll take that risk. If it was going to be my main primary daily driver only car and I had no other cars to drive, I don't know if I'd take the chance first year generation, frankly, with anything, but especially one of these Dodge cars. But let me know what you think. Is this something you would consider buying if they start hitting the dealerships in June? And do you think the dealers will completely screw this up again like they tried to screw up the EVs by putting markups on them right out of the gate, and then they realized that was the dumbest thing ever? Are they going to do that again on these things? And if they don't deliver enough of them fast enough, will the dealers completely destroy any chance of these things getting traction out in the market and getting sold to buyers? Because once they tick us off and we realize they're playing games, we just don't go back. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.